Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Wait, I know what you're thinking. Where can I get some of that sweet, sweet goods merchandise? I mean, you are right. It is pretty stylish and creatively designed. I'll tell you where you can go get it. You can go to teespring.com. If you look in the link description below, it'll take you to a website where you'll see all the gear that we wear here on the channel. Plus, you'll be, as the kids say, lit while they look at your fit. And that is probably the most disturbing thing I've ever said on this show. Just go buy a shirt.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes.
Speaking of October 15th, Halloween Kills!
Yeah.
Man, the final trailer was finally released by Universal, and it is looking like it is going to be the horror film of the year.
No, this is, so I love what they did in the first one. This one, there's not a lot of times where you see a trailer for a sequel to a film where the first one was really good. This one, I'm really excited about seeing a sequel. I wasn't that excited when they were like, oh, we're going to make a trilogy. I was like, oh, they're just kind of milking it. Well, that didn't look right. They're kind of milking it for all the money that they can get out of this franchise. But the way that they set this one up, like, and then we talked about the first trailer before, it was like saying like, oh, he survived, and kind of, I mean, they did give a lot.
They gave too much on the first trailer. Too much, way too much.
You didn't want them to explain how he survived?
No. You, if you want to explain a subtle reference to him escaping the fire, fine.
Okay.
But then you're gonna go and show the kills to the firemen? No, you don't need to show all that.
Okay, I mean, maybe they're more brutal. Maybe there's some extra scenes to, like, maybe he's like stab, stab, stab.
Maybe.
Stab, 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 stab.
All right, so the trailer starts with a complete homage and recreation of the breakout scene in '78, where they're in the car and the nurse is scared.
And that was backdate. Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
That was the same nurse. That was Loomis's nurse, right?
Okay.
So in '78, 21-year-old Michael Myers jumps on the top of the station wagon and he palm breaks the glass, and she escapes, and he gets in the wagon and he takes off, right?
There's a lot of callbacks in this movie.
In this one, he does the same thing, but obviously he's older now. But he does the same thing, and I loved the way that came out. But to see Kyle Richards back as the original Lindsay Wallace, and she's talking to those kids in the playground, and they're telling them that there's a creepy guy in a white mask wanting to play hide and go seek, and then he comes out. It just looks freaking phenomenal. It's just like the guy does not miss a beat, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But the guy does not miss a beat when it comes to how he's portraying Michael Myers. So yeah,
and great editing.
Absolutely. So Kyle Richards finally comes back, and then it turns into a pretty much not really a montage, but so many cutscenes of all these different action sequences and everything that's going on in the film, including the breakout of the fire. Right. Which they showed more again of killing the fire.
I'm sure that's a smaller part of the movie. It's probably like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it's not that as important as what they could be showing you. So it's like how Marvel will show you almost like they'll show you like 3 different trailers of like multiple pieces of footage of like the opening scene of a movie, and you're like, damn, they're giving it all away. But then you're like, there's so much more that's left over in the movie that they don't really show. So.
And I'm glad that you brought up Marvel because you had these standalones. And they build up to something big like Avengers or something like that, right? Well, now it turns into we are the survivors of 1978, and now they are coming together to fight a common enemy.
What are they gonna do for the third film? Are we gonna do Season of the Witch? But we can't do Season of the Witch because he killed everybody in this one.
Well, he killed them kids wearing the Shamrock mask, yeah, so I feel like he was not a fan of Halloween 3.
They're trying to do away with that, so we won't get something similar to Season of the Witch in the third one. But for them to play so many homages to all of the previous films, or at least the early films, it leaves me like, what else are they gonna do with this? Like, how are they gonna continue this series on in a third film that we know we're getting?
Absolutely, and the way it seems is I mean, obviously there's going to be more carnage. Is it going to be in Haddonfield? Because one of the things that you see in the trailer when I mentioned the town coming together to rid this evil once and for all,
right,
is a scene reminiscent of when the parents find young Michael after he in the clown costume after he killed his sister.
Yeah,
and you have that one little that shot that Carpenter has where it's facing both parents and they stay in silence and they're panning back so to see the three, right? Well, in this one it's exactly the same thing again, but it's Michael Myers in the middle of all of the town. The entire town is facing him in this. So what is that about? Like, is this really going to be where they're going to just all gather together and beat the crap out of him and chop his arm off, put a hook on it, and put bees on? Oh, wait, that's the wrong movie. Never mind.
I like how they said in the first one where they were like, hey, all that stuff that you heard about, that's just kind of like urban legend. None of that stuff really happened. But yet they keep bringing it up in these films. And like they keep kind of like, hey, yeah, that didn't really happen in the original, like the original story of this, like what really happened. But yeah, we're going to actually do all that stuff right now.
So you think he's going to be his sister after all? She's going to be his sister after all?
We're going to continue to get what we got in the original films. Whatever they thought was really good from it, they're going to just kind of roll over into this, where we talk about how Force Awakens kind of redid some stuff. This is doing a Force Awakens on it. A little bit better because they're reframing it.
Yeah, and there's subtleties in the 2018 that actually mixes certain things from the previous series as a whole, not just 78, but the series as a whole. Okay. Similar to what they did with Friday the 13th 09 when they put part 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the prologue, and then it became what it became. But with this one, they bring the Myers house back into it, and they're pretty much saying that everything is leading to the Myers house, which is where they're confronting him in the scene that I'm talking about.
Right.
So to your point, as far as where Halloween ends takes place,
right.
It's going to start.
Is that their title?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
Okay.
But there's technically 4 since 78 is number 1.
That's right. It's part of the canon.
It's part of the whole canon.
They Terminator 2 this?
They did.
Terminator 3 this one. I guess it's Terminator 3. They Terminator 3 this one.
So let's talk about Myers. What do you think about Michael Myers in this trailer?
No, I like him. I've liked what they've done with him. They make him menacing. They make him he's a supernatural force. They make him seem scary like they did before in the original.
Does he have the darkest eyes, the most menacing eyes?
I'm sorry, he's wearing black eye makeup.
Oh.
What they do with his character makes you respect him again, as opposed where he got really campy in the later sequels. It's like you really respect him as a slasher in this film. It's like he really is the opposition. It's like what you want to fear, as opposed to like, let's just see him cut up some people. It's like this is kind of like everything is kind of coming out of nowhere, and everything seems to be like, didn't expect that. Oh wow, that's so brutal. Man, we need to really figure out how to stop this. So I am happy with how they portrayed Michael Myers in this film, or in this film series so far. Still trying to figure out what they're gonna do for that third one.
The one that the thing that I like the most about it is that he is the shape.
Yes.
Like he's more of.
He's still in the shadows. He's still
in the
kind
shadows.
Of a distance. He doesn't have that personality they were trying to give him in the later sequels.
Right. And this is something completely different, and as far as the sequels, but in continuity to who he was and what is explained that he is in the 78 to a point, 81 too in part 2. They make him, back to being scary again. They really turn him back into the boogeyman. And that's what I love the most about this. When you look at all the horror icons, Jason is a straight up land shark. I mean, he is like brutal in your face. He's, which we said, Jason's not evil. He just takes get off my lawn to a whole different freaking stratosphere.
I mean, it's like, outside of him going to New York, everything was basically like, hey, I'm right here at the camp. Just don't come here.
Yeah.
Don't come here.
He's Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. We're talking about Clint Eastwood.
Stay on my lawn.
Stay on my freaking camp. All right, anyway. All right, so to echo what you said, you were absolutely spot on. I even wrote it that way. He is more menacing.
Yeah.
He is more brutal in this. And
I fear him more than I felt in the last probably 5, 6, 7 sequels. And it was like
before 2018. Yes,
I was like, I don't at those points there was like where Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers, they were all becoming like they were becoming parodies of themselves.
Yeah.
And it was like now we back to like, wow, this is scary. This is intense. This is suspenseful. And it was like, I like that in my horror movie.
You factor in the music.
Yeah.
And like the music in part 2, where they added a little bit of a synthesizer to the score. They made it upbeat. Like they raised the tempo up of it. It's freaking awesome, dude. It's freaking awesome, dude. So I can't wait. We the best. James Jude Courtney is the one that took over for Nick Castle, for Dick Warlock, for everybody. He's the new Michael Myers.
Okay.
So what he has done, as far as the body movement, his body language, how he carries himself, and all of that, he is spot on in this role.
I always like it with Michael Myers, where I feel like he's in a situation and he feels like he's going to murder everything that's in there, but he doesn't really understand his surroundings. Where like he's kind of out of place, but his intent is on murder no matter what. To where like even in the midst of him murdering, or after he's finished murdering, where he has that little almost a confused like fish out of water, like, this doesn't make sense and I'll move on type of, I was always like that, because it's just so scary. It was like, does he realize that he's murdering people, or is it just kind of like,
Except Halloween 5, when he's driving to a costume party.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
But you don't hate Halloween 5, coming soon.
Let's not talk about that.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch this show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something, because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.